game plan. Double XL up in the paint, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback tank. So tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at, never fall back. No lies, no facts, we gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never falter. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need a hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. We ain't never.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
From the jungle, up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the big shoes, check out the crease. Blow like I'm Bigfoot, step on the beat. Make a man's run till he step out the cleats. When the whole place scream, gotta get out the Dime lo que tú quieres de mi coqueta. Es lo que te gusta de salir y se suena. Cuando baila reggaetón pa' mí que muñeca. Me gusta salir y todo así.
Good morning, Dolphin fans. This is Top of the Tailgate. I'm your host, Ali the Persian. And welcome to the TFTG's morning show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got a brand new show this morning. How is everybody doing? Good morning. It is October 26th, officially 5 days from Halloween, right? 5 days from Halloween. I got my actual Halloween Michael Myers coffee mug here. The faces of Michael Myers, right? I got that going on. It's going to be a good morning. I got my co-host in the back. I'm about to bring him up. But before we do, check out some of the other shows we got around here. We got El Capitan and the TFTG show. Sundays calling games. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays too. Doing film breakdowns. He's the primetime film breakdown person. He will teach you some. Watch his videos. And then in addition, you got coffee and a cup of color. And myself doing Top of the Tailgate. Colors all over the place. Doing the drive times. Doing TMI Tuesdays. Doing league wide with Miss Fans. He is all over. Check out Color. And then in addition, don't forget about Shake Money, Drive Time, Smoke Lounges, the Insomnia Show. Everything, right? Check out Shake Money Show. And then don't forget about Lewis the Rabid Dolphin, right? He's on the Drive Time, the Smoke Lounges. He's all over the place. He had a great show last night by the guys, by the way. He's on the Spaces. He's all over. Check out Lewis. And then you got KP with the Fantasy Talk. making fantasies come true on the daily. Check out his stuff. Great information. And then you got Crypto, making us think about the things that we generally don't think about. Definitely check out Crypto Show. And then to end it all off on Tuesdays, don't forget about the OG Tonks TMI Tuesdays is back. One hell of a show this week. If you missed it, go check it out, right? But don't forget, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Get ready, because this is going to be a great show. Great content coming your way. And if you love the content, maybe consider becoming a member. We got 3 different memberships. We have Amigos, Familia, MVP. I want to say Amigos, it's like $2 or $3 a month. It's really inexpensive, really easy way to donate to the channel. Keeps the content afloat. In addition, with that, you get exclusive content, right? You get exclusive emojis that you can banter with, like the Buffalo Bills one that I put in there, or we put in there, I should say. You got all that kind of stuff going on, right? So definitely check that out. If you're interested, you want more content, that's a good way to do that. If you really like the content, you want to try to help out the channel, we do accept Cash App, Venmo, super stickers, super chats. You don't have to, but we really appreciate it, right? So definitely check that out. And shout out to our affiliates. Check that link below, and I'll make sure it's updated if it wasn't already updated. Check out the links below. We got 3 different affiliates, right? You got Fanatics, right? You're officially licensed everything like this hat or this t-shirt, right? You can get that stuff there. You can get jerseys, all sports, all teams. Definitely check it out. It's a one-stop shop for everything. If you use the link below, it helps out the channel. In addition, it basically tells them that we sent you. So you get all the same deals and everything else. So really appreciate if you use our link. And then if you're remodeling your house, maybe you want to decorate your side of your bedroom, you know, or your place of business, or, you know, outside in the garage or wherever, check out Backroom Collection. They got some really cool canvas artwork pieces for the Miami Dolphins and other sports too. If you call them, I'm sure they can do some custom work for you if you're looking for something particular. They got some really cool stuff, so definitely check them out. And then you're probably going to need all this energy to keep up with all the content we're putting out, right? Check out Doobie Energy Drink. It's all smash, no crash. You don't get that jittering or crashing like you do with some of the other energy drink companies out there. It's infused with more all-natural vitamins and minerals that's benefit to the body and a lot better than some of the byproducts and stuff that you find in normal energy drinks. And the flavors, I heard, is pretty good. If you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money Show. He does reviews on the stuff. He likes it. I take his word. So if you like that stuff and you want to get some of it, you can save 10% off there or even at Backroom Collection by using code TFTG at checkout. And last but not least, don't forget about TFTGnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for TFTG everything from articles, our Twitter feeds, our merch store is there, and we got tons and tons of stuff in our merch store that you guys may like. Hey, this is the holiday season. You're going to start buying stuff for Christmas and stuff like that. This is the time to do it, right? This is the time to go ahead and do that. Definitely check out TFTGnetwork.com. We have a new virtual store that's coming that's going to blow your socks off, let me tell you. All right, with that being said, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host up here, but before I do, I want to play him some good music that he enjoys. We got Color in the house. What is up, Color?
Good morning. Finally waking up in time.
Yeah, definitely. It's all good, bro. It's all good. We were on hiatus for a little bit. I had some stuff going on. Personal stuff.
Yeah, I heard. Congratulations are in order.
Oh,
man.
keep it down. Keep it down. Yeah, we will.
I'm talking about for the.
I know what you're talking about.
Not for that. Not
Just
for
keep
that.
it. No, keep it to yourself. We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
I
will.
don't want to put a juju on that yet. Not yet.
Oh, I got you. Still in wait. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'll explain after the show, but we will.
Right on.
Let's just say I may or may not have some news for you guys. May or may not.
Right on.
Okay,
but yeah, happy to be here with bells on. Hurting a little, but I'm awake.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see who we got in the chat. I already see it blowing up with comments here. So we got Ryan AP. This guy has been beating everybody lately. So shout out to Ryan AP. Josh Allen is the next John Elway, has come out of the woodwork color. So I see him here as well. Brian's Brains and Jay, and then C. Hallful is here. CC, good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. So make sure you guys are hitting like and subscribe. We appreciate you. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, right, Color? A lot going on. Before we do that, actually, not even that one. Coffee of the week. I got my coffee. What are you drinking? Anything good?
Oh, I got a big box of McCafe. I'm back on McCafe Original, medium blend. Speaking of coffee and Christmas, yeah, I don't really celebrate Christmas much anymore in the way I used to. But it was always fun waking up on Christmas morning and sitting under the tree and opening gifts and all that. So if you go to TFTG's shop and get yourself a color commentary coffee mug for your significant other, Color will be able to join you in spirit while you sit around with your family at the Christmas tree.
That is true. That is true. You know,
it's guaranteed to make your coffee taste better.
Oh yeah. So my wife and I, we have this what do they call it? Fireplace. Like, it's an electric fireplace. You know what I mean? Has the fire going and everything, and the tree is there and everything, and we sit back and drink coffee at night and watching the lights and the fireplace going. It almost makes you feel like you're up north where it snows and all that kind of stuff.
I was going to say, imagining you're back in Ohio.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was imagining, bro. I miss it so much. She's from Connecticut.
And I stress Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Ohio.
Or Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
So she's from the Northeast. No, she's like a New Englander.
Well, yeah. Her dad's from Buffalo, and then she lived. She was born in Connecticut and lived there. And she says that she's a refugee or escaped tyranny of the snow, is what she says, because she hates the snow. I guess can't stand it. Not even for 1 week, bro. She can't even stand it for a week. So that's why
I don't blame her.
So, but for me, I'm like, I miss the seasons and seeing the leaves change and all that stuff. And I don't know, I just miss like my Ohio style living. You know what I mean? I miss it. But anyway, long story short, I'm not drinking anything specific. I'm just drinking this Kona blend. Actually, I had it left over. I have the spicy coffee color. I have it in hand. I got the grinder. We grounded it up. But then someone told me that... Pardon me?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, somebody mentioned to me, because I was going to do it Sunday night, had we won, as a celebratory thing. And I was like, okay, so we didn't win, so I'll do it probably this Friday. And I was going to do that, but then someone mentioned to me that maybe you should hold on to this when we win something big. You know, let's say we beat Kansas City, or we get to the AFC Championship game or something. Save it for that. What do you think, Color? What do you think I should do?
Well, I mean, as injured as we are right now, beating New England might be a big win.
This is true. This is true.
I mean, dang, we're depleted. This is where it really rubber meets the road. You know what I mean? This is where your 53-man roster is tested. So, yeah, you know, I just think you're coming up with reasons not to do it. To be honest with you.
That could be too.
Subconsciously, you just, you know.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should just do it Friday. I won't do it in the middle of the week. Do it
live. We'll do it live.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it Friday. I want you to be there, first of all, so you can take over the show as I'm vomiting.
So I can take over the show.
Yeah, because I have a feeling this is going to be bad, bro. You don't understand. So I got the package, right? And I opened the package, bro. And, you know, like you open an old package and instantly you can imagine, without seeing it, this gas freaking explode all over. You know what I mean? And bro, my wife was across the room and her eyes are already dripping and crying like, oh my God, you know, like
Right.
So you could smell it. I was coughing it up in my lungs and everything. You can tell it is spicy. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm sitting there like, this might kill me, bro. But we're gonna do it. We are gonna do it.
Is it something maybe you should like soak your pita bread in before you have a taco? You know,
Just to test it out. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just thinking of better uses for it.
Bro, I don't know. I don't know what people were
Sprinkle
thinking.
a little on your taco.
Dude, it's it is that it smells that spicy. So
Wow.
we
they
I'm
might
gonna
have.
drink it. I'm just gonna make
I'm not
sure I
so
have
sure
a
it was
gallon of milk.
intended to drink. I think it's supposed to be like a decoy, so that when somebody gets mugged, they can just chuck cups of this stuff at their attacker. You know what I mean? Like mace. You know, like pepper spray.
Well, I will say that I get the pepper spray effect when I smell the bag. And I'm like, holy shit.
That's funny.
In fact, every time I touch the bag, I have to go wash my hands because I'm afraid I'm going to get the pepper or whatever in my eye. You know what I mean? I'm so afraid of that of happening.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be fun.
Hey, better you than me. I get to drink the goat turd coffee. I mean, you know, at least it ain't going to burn my face off.
This is true. I think I'm paying for it just so you can say I drink goat turd coffee.
Somehow I knew back when I was in my younger day when I saw that documentary on the goat turd coffee, and the fact that it was $50 a cup. I knew one day that me and this coffee were gonna cross paths, dude. I don't know how, man. It's just, you know.
Yep. We'll see, man. Somehow you knew.
Apparently, there's a coffee shop up in New York that sells it, man. That's where it's at. $50 a cup.
I see people in the chat already talking up this thing about the Hard Knocks thing, bro.
Oh, jeez.
So listen,
our season's over, bro. Pack it in, man. We're done.
We're not done. Calm down. Listen, we've already been doing Hard Knocks. Just nobody's been getting paid for it. That's the thing. That's the funny part about it. Because you think about it, who has the biggest personality when it comes to coaching? Mike McDaniel does, right? Out of all the head coaches, he's the one with the biggest personality. He's already dropping jokes and doing one-line stuff and being funny all the time, right? And then in addition, you got Tyreek Hill, who's a big persona already, right? And you have all these guys that are, you know, personas. Now, all it is that now people can get paid for it officially. That's basically.
Oh, I get it, bro. But, you know, man, I don't know, bro. I just. I'm not big on distractions, man. I mean, I'm really not big on distractions, dude.
Michael K brought up a good point. Dan Campbell had Hard Knocks, and look what happened. He beat the Super Bowl champions. Just going to point that out there.
Did he beat them in the Super Bowl?
Well, obviously not. He's in the regular season, but we got to start somewhere, Color.
Right, but Hard Knocks ain't in there now. It's not a distraction now.
I understand, but
like we're trying to win games and get to a Super Bowl, man. You know what I mean? Isn't that what? All I know is, see, Ali, the reason it bugs me a little bit is because even though it's a positive thing, I get it. It's not Bullygate. It's not Blowgate. You know what I mean? I get it. But one of the things that bugged me so much when I was living up in Missouri is that with as little content as there was for Dolphins, as I really hadn't found the YouTube community by that point. So as little news as there was coming out of Miami that reached me up in St. Louis was like, all I'm hearing about is Bullygate and this and that and the other. And at some point, I just found myself asking the question, is anybody down in Miami playing football? And I feel when I see this Hard Knocks thing coming, I just can't help but have that feeling again. You know what I mean? Like, does anybody care about football down in Miami? Like, really? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll be the first team in history to get through distractions, positive or negative, and go all the way. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, it seems like we're afraid of success as far as winning, because winning would bring the same amount of distractions. Now we're just asking for it, and we haven't even, when we're deciding not to win either. Case in point, before McDaniel said this in his presser, he told the guys before the Philadelphia game, look, if you win, it's going to open this next step, this next door where you're going to get all this media hype and all that and this and that and the other and these distractions. If you lose, people are going to still say you can't beat the good teams. Now, I don't know why he told the team that, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess we're going to have to face it at some point, but I'd rather the hype and the media distractions come because we're winning, not because we're getting Hard Knocks in the building, is all I'm saying.
I hear you. But here's the other part of it. I could, how do I put it?
I mean, I guess maybe it'll get us nose blind to the hype that comes with success. Yeah, I guess. We'll be nose blind to it. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that is a good thing. I'm looking for a bright side here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as much of a distraction as it already is. And the only reason it would have been in the past. In the past, I would say it would be. And I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that. But in the past, social media was not as big as it is now. People couldn't have their personas as big as they could now. You know what I'm saying? Back when we had Philbin, social media was a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is today, right? So what I'm trying to get at is that now they're not changing who they are. They're still doing the same things that they were already doing, right? It's just now that we put a label on it and it'll be on a different network for you to watch. That's the only difference.
I've just never known anybody that didn't play up to a camera, bro.
Okay, I understand. Well, the reason I'm saying that nothing's really going to change is because Tyreek Hill already does the same stuff on social media.
Well, for certain guys, it won't be a distraction, but not everybody's built like Tyreek on the team.
Yeah, but also, who do you think that they're going to follow? Because they know it's bold. They're going to follow Tyreek. They're going to follow.
Well, when we sit here and bash Liam Eichenberg all day, I'm sure they'll probably ride something up his rear too. You know what I mean? That's the last thing a guy like him needs.
I think they're going to find the story boring. That's just my opinion.
Maybe.
The ones that are
fascinated with us picking on them all the time.
The ones that have the screw loose that they could actually, either go off on the deep end or be freaking amazing. Those are the ones they're going to go after. The Tyreek Hill, the Christian Wilkins, right? Ramsey, for example, which Ramsey's been so focused, I don't think anything can get him off, wanting to come back. That's how focused he is right now. It'll be really interesting because I want to see how Vic Fangio handles this. Because if Vic Fangio turns around and knock a camera up, man, how funny would that be, bro?
Well, they have creative control, but I'm just still thinking that the players and the coaches are they're just still gonna carry themselves differently than they would, knowing that it doesn't matter about creative control because somebody could leak something to try to make their career, some idiot at HBO, and then it's, I don't know, man. That's always going to be in the back of their minds, dude. And for the guys that aren't used to that, man, I don't know, man. Again, I'm just going on history. I'm not trying to be cynical or pessimistic. I'm just going on history that this type of thing never does well for a freaking team, man. That's on a run. It has real aspirations.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure why or how or whatever they decided to pick us, I guess. We'll see. Maybe the Buffalo Bills called up.
Well, there's also the interest, because now they've fomented the interest in the fraud narrative. You know what I mean? So people are starting to want to know, what's this high-powered team all about? Are they the real deal? And why does everybody think they're frauds? And blah blah blah. You know, there's that aspect of it. You know, that's what I'm saying. We're like a dumpster fire. Nobody can look away. You know, we're like a car accident. Slow moving car accident. You know what I mean?
That's the problem that I have with this whole thing. Everybody's acting like, okay, Color, I'm not.
That's what concerns me about it, Ali, is that's what people take us for. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but here's my thing. I'm not gonna come at you. That's not what I'm doing here. But I want to bring something to your perspective, just so you can see my point of view. Okay?
Sure.
We preached that you and I both preached. We slammed the tables here, both during the Buffalo Bills game and prior to the Eagles game. Both games, we both slammed the tables, preached. If we had javelin hammers, we're stomping the hammers down, that it was the judgment and all this stuff. And we both stated that what happens if whose game does this matter more to, us or them? And we said that it mattered to them more because of the fact that if they won, right? I'm sorry, if they lost, that is so massive because they lost to the Dolphins, right?
Right.
But if they won, who cares? What's new? Nothing's new. And in our day, who cares? Because nothing has changed. You know what I mean? There's no different in how we go about our day, right? And now you have people, and I'm not saying you specifically, but I've seen it up and down the chat. Jay, quite a few of these different people that are in the chat, and people on Twitter and so other social media outlets like Facebook and whatnot, jumping ship, already getting out of Dodge, saying, you know what, I get this team, I'm done, the season's over. Why even bother watching? Let's just go to baseball, or let's go to basketball, hockey. Let's change the sport. Forget this. Right. Forget the NFL. Already jumping shit. I'm like, bro, we only have 2 losses. You're acting like we went on a 17 game losing streak or something. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
But for some people, it's like the caterpillar, bro, telling them the weather. Most of the time they're right, dude. You know what I mean? Let's be real, man. Yeah.
I mean, my point is that if you and I are going to sit here and preach that there's no difference in how we go about our day, then there really can't be any difference in how we go about it.
No, there isn't. I just don't like I said, I'm not like, when I look at my optimism and my hope, that was not including Hard Knocks into my calculus.
I get you.
Middle of the season, first ones ever to do it middle of the season live. Like, that cannot be a good thing for our run.
I don't know what to tell you. All I'm saying is that we already watch Hard Knocks every day on social media, and watching Tyreek's podcast and whoever else's podcast, it already plays out. That's why I'm kind of like, you do realize all this is creating is subscribers, just so people think are going to see anything different that they don't already see. That's why I
get it, man. But there's also, I mean, there's logistics involved too. There's accommodations. There's all kinds of stuff that they don't need to be dealing with right now. Like McDaniel don't need to be dealing with. Yeah, and far be it to be that he's the one that's most, perturbed about it, and with good reason. He understands. He's been in this league a long time. He knows what distractions do, good or bad distractions.
Yeah. Who decides that the Dolphins get it? By the way, is that the
From
Dolphins
what I
get
understand, we were compelled to do it by the league.
You're compelled. Hmm.
I don't know what that means, whether we were really forced, whether it was just, and that's why I use the word compelled, because I guess we weren't wanting to do it, you know? That's the going rumor, is that
whatever the compelled us to do it, does that mean we negotiated a deal? Are they going to allow us to win a game in the playoffs? Is that how this works?
Well, what I think, Ali, is the NFL can't lose here, and neither can HBO, because if it causes us to be a dumpster fire, then they get their ratings because everybody loves a car accident. You know what I mean? But if we catch fire and it doesn't bother us whatsoever, and we go on and hit the Super Bowl, they're catching a live coverage of a Super Bowl run with a team inside. You see what I'm saying? It's win-win all around, bro.
El Capitan did mention there was another style of, it wasn't Hard Knocks, but it was a different documentary that was following the Arizona Cardinals back when they had what's his name? Bruce Arenas, is that his name? Bruce Arians. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Bruce Arenas, who's a soccer coach. Arians. They had him, and it was when he was the coach of the Cardinals, and they made a deep run and everything. But they filmed that from start to finish. You know what I mean? Of the season.
Right, but it wasn't being released during the season.
I don't think so. I don't know.
See, then that's what I'm trying to say. What the NFL is after, in the best case scenario, is that they end up upping ESPN, because, you know, ESPN has like these 30 for 30s, and NFL has its own documentary stories of these runs and all that. Who's ever been able to catch a live documentary on a live run like that? You know what I mean? Like, nobody. You know, that's what the NFL's after. And if they don't get it, they still get the dumpster fire.
Caller, I have to step away for one moment to check something real quick. I'll be right back. If you want to touch base with their chat and see what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't. I'll have to zoom in here. Got Mansa in the chat. How's it going, Mansa? Michael K, Jay, I see y'all. 72 undefeated. So Ryan AP, how you doing? So while I got the floor, I wanted to, and I don't know if this is stealing Ali's thunder or not. I'm sure it might be, but there's some, you know, it's interesting to find out that looks like that there's only been one person in the building for the last couple seasons, going back to Brian Flores. It seems there's only been one person in the building that refuses to do anything about our offensive line, which, standing 10 toes down, I guess that we're going to be fine, because apparently there's been some comments from people that have left the building about, you know, there being a struggle between GM and coach as to, you know, the fact that somebody didn't want to get more and better offensive linemen. And I found that to be quite interesting. I'm sure Ali will be touching on that later on. We'll talk about it more. So look out for that. I thought that was fascinating. And we'll be getting into who that is, I'm sure. The other thing, I guess while we're waiting, I took a couple notes from Kyle Crabb's Locked On Dolphins podcast. He put out a bunch of suggestions as to who we might contact or go for to fill some roles here going forward in before the trade deadline. And I don't want to steal all his thunder, but I am going to do a deeper dive on a couple of these guys. He talks about their salary requirements and trade requirements, so make sure you're checking out his latest show from yesterday to get all the details and who he talks about and why go after these and why these certain teams may or may not want to talk. So that's what his show's about. but I put down some notables that I'm going to probably look into their performance-wise, because he doesn't get into their performance too much. But you got guys like Eddie Jackson at safety out of Chicago. You know, might need to have some work done with trade pieces and all that. Want to get Chicago to take on some of his next year's contract. Otherwise, we wouldn't carry him the next year, because he would be looking at being owed like $14 million next year. But that might be a name to look for. Also, of course, running back Derrick Henry. There's still always that aspect. If you can get him, you know, for you know, a small number of pieces, if you can just throw something to Tennessee and they're happy with it. And lastly, but not only, a guy that I really want to look into deeper, offensive lineman Daniel Brunskill from Tennessee. The guy's 30 plus years old, but he'd be a good, you know, as far as losing Isaiah Wynn, you know, he'd be a good supplement for that. You know, because the guy has played his entire career at left guard, right guard, and center. Mm-hmm. He also spent some time with San Francisco and is familiar with the type of stuff that we're doing. So, and obviously there's clear favorite. You know, Mike McDaniel tends to like to tap guys that have spent time in San Francisco. So look for that to be a somebody to really look into as making a move on before the deadline. Daniel Brunskill from Tennessee Titans.
I gotta have another name for you, caller.
Who do seem to be in a fire sale.
Gotcha. I do have a name for you. I'm curious to what your thoughts on this person. It's not a position that I think we need to look for personally, but I wanted to get your thoughts on how useful this person could be in other teams, if you want to say that. I'm reading that Hunter Renfrow is working to be traded right now. With the Raiders, they're working out a deal to trade him. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of have always equated him to our own guy, Braxton Berrios. I mean, him and Berrios were kind of coming up through college around the same time. Renfrow with Clemson, Berrios with us. You know, so I mean, yeah, I mean he's a good solid slot receiver that understands the game. He's intelligent, got a hard head, took a pretty good hit last year, got up and, you know, no problems. But yeah, I mean, sure.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Like I don't know what happened, bro. He went from being like their star receiver to nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
With what's going on out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just curious. But yeah, it's interesting with the trade talk. There's a lot of different trades that could be made, and
yeah, he talks about a couple D tackles and a couple linebackers as well. So check out his show, Locked On Dolphins, yesterday, and he goes through a whole bunch of people. Talks mainly about what their salary requirements would be and not performance per se. Mm-hmm. So I was going to do a little deeper dive into a couple of the names to see, you know, what type of, are we talking depth here? Are we talking somebody that could start, you know, those types of things.
Really interesting. You said this is Locked On Dolphins?
Yeah, Kyle Krabs, you know, does the Locked On Dolphins podcast.
I'll have to check that out. That being said, let's move on to our next segment, which is Cause for Cleats. I didn't do it yesterday. I got to make sure I do it today. So today's Cause for Cleats is the Sunshine Kids. The Sunshine Kids Foundation was founded by Rhonda Tomasco in 1982 while she was serving as a volunteer in the pediatric cancer unit of a hospital in Houston, Texas. After seeing the loneliness and depression among children during their extended hospital treatments, Rhonda had a vision to provide these young cancer patients with opportunities to participate in positive group activities which promoted self-esteem, personal accomplishment, and just plain old-fashioned fun. Today, the vision has been realized many times over, as thousands of children from hospitals across the country have reaped the benefits of the Sunshine Kids Foundation. Many programs and national region events funded by personal contributions, corporations, and foundations. The Sunshine Kids continues as it has since the inception to provide all of the activities completely free of charge to the children and their families. Their mission statement, the Sunshine Kids Foundation provides exciting, positive group activities and opportunities for children with cancer so they may once again do what kids are meant to do, have fun and celebrate life. Their goal, they look forward to the day when the Sunshine Kids Foundation will no longer need to exist. Until that time, the entire Sunshine Kids family is dedicated to our goal of providing the most exciting activities, trips, and opportunities for as many young cancer patients as possible. If you'd like to know more about the Sunshine Kids, you can go to sunshinekids.org for more information, how to ways to give and donate, events, kids events they have coming up, supporters, financials, anything you want to know about what they do and how they, the benefits they provide and all that stuff, go to sunshinekids.org. All right, that is your Cause for Cleats, brought to you by TFTG Network. And just as I've said before on this channel, or if you're new to our channel, these Cause for Cleats, we have no affiliation with these organizations or foundations or anything. We are just providing the information so you can become aware that they exist, and maybe you know somebody that needs to get some type of benefit or needs assistance by some of these organizations. And I think in the morning it does the body good and does your soul some good to learn about some of these foundations and what they do for people. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's like, as we've always said here, there's a whole bunch of, when they do the Cause for Cleats at the NFL, they're always, showcasing the bigger name guys and what their causes are. You don't ever hear, there's a bunch of other players throughout the league that have their own causes that never get talked about. So
yeah, I mean, even the most minimum players have causes too. That's the reality of it. I try to get everybody. And I'm not saying they're being unfair with it. I'm just saying that obviously you're going to showcase the bigger name players because those are the ones most people, they got a lot more people listening to them. So I get it. Mm-hmm. But that's where we come in to say, hey, let's throw the spotlight on some of the players that wouldn't get a lot of attention in their causes. You know what I mean? Yep, 100%. I agree with you on that. Let's see, our next the next thing, it was going to be what in the world. There's very not much what in the world to talk about. There's one thing I guess we could talk about it. Hold up, we already talked about the
did you happen to have anything on the comments yesterday coming out of the organization about, I didn't want to steal your thunder if you had intended to talk about it, but...
What? Comments about what?
From Kyle Van Noy.
Oh, I haven't really... I didn't listen to everything he said. I kind of saw some highlights of it. If you know more about that, by all means.
Yeah, well, that'd be... since he's not a Dolphin, that'd be good for what in the world, because it makes you ask yourself what in the world's going on.
The biggest comment he made is, while he was here, he said he felt like he was in between a civil war. That's the biggest comment.
And it turns out basically, and this is obviously my interpretation, okay, but it turns out basically that this really had never anything to do with Tua per se, and it was simply a struggle between Chris Grier and Brian Flores when it came to wanting to supply our offensive line with better or players or more depth in order to protect Tua. And Chris Greer was not amenable to that. And so what ended up happening was what we thought, which was probably a mistake on Flores' part. I'm not trying to absolve Flores here. I'm just saying what we had originally kind of instinctually got the sense of was that Flores said enough is enough, petitioned Stephen Ross for full control. And Ross likely said, no, buddy, it's too early for you for that. You know what I mean? And chose Greer and the players we have that Greer wanted to put out over Flores. And so it really never had anything to do with Tua. It was more like, okay, if you're going to bootstrap me with these players like Tua that need this type of protection, and then you need to get me this type of offensive line, whatever. And Greer was just not amenable to doing that, which we know that from currently the situation we're in, that he obviously has a problem with offensive linemen.
Yeah. It's I don't. And what the oxymoron of it is also the fact that he went and got what's his name? Armstead this season after. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you get Armstead then? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because again, CYA. Well, that's what Van Noy was also saying, was that once he left, he ended up becoming the fall guy as the guy that was making the comments about wasting his career, when it was never him. Him and Tua are actually friends, come to find out. Okay. And then when he left, when they traded him, he thought it was basically because, you know, this and that, but then immediately he's getting questions from the media about being the one that said all that. And he's like, what are you talking about? So, and they painted the picture that he was the one, you know, causing the rift and all that. And he said as soon as he saw that, he realized that they were nothing, that the Dolphins were doing nothing but covering their own ass and putting out all this basically propaganda, you know what I mean? About, you know, disgruntled players and whatever else.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I think it was just a big waste of time, to be honest.
Yeah, and ultimately, you know, yes. Flores did overreach, and that's ultimately why he's gone. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to excuse anybody. I'm just trying to say it turns out that it was never really about Tua.
Yeah, I'm talking about
other than the fact that Flores wanted to get more protection for Tua.
Yeah, see, that's
ironically.
That's what I was trying to say, is that what the organization did by, you know, trying to pass blame or create propaganda and stuff like that. That's the part I'm talking about. Big waste of time. It was big waste of time.
Instead of getting more offensive line help, they said, okay, well, if we need that for Tua, then we're just going to get another quarterback. And as soon as they went and got, and that failed, they pinned that on Brian Flores as if he was the one that was out on Tua and wanted to go get another quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, Van Noy didn't allude to that, but the fact that he's alluding to that they're doing nothing but CYA, yeah, I don't believe nothing when it comes to who wanted who regarding Tua coming from the organization, given that it takes everybody involved to go after another quarterback. It's not like the coach can do it by himself, given that he wasn't even allowed to go after more offensive linemen.
Yeah. Yep. I completely understand.
It doesn't make any sense that he'd have power to go against Tua if he couldn't even get more offensive linemen for himself.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that he would. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I guess one day we'll finally figure out what really the deal is between him and Tua, if there is any. Maybe there's not anything at all.
And that's the other thing you can garner from Van Noy, is that when they tried to pin him as the guy that was talking about his career being wasted, he's like, that's completely and utterly false. Actually, Tua and him are really good friends.
Yeah.
Which I suspect maybe they're not really good friends, but I don't think they're. I guarantee you Tua don't hold any grudge against Flores, despite what people want to read the tea leaves in his latest interviews and all that. Just like they read the tea leaves with Jalen Phillips when it had nothing to do with Flores. It had to do with his own internal issues that he was dealing with before he even got to Miami.
That's true. Definitely true.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he hates his guts. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tua hates his guts and is just chomping at the bit to say it. I don't know.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to say it to stay face. You know what I mean? That's kind of.
Well, Tua was raised right. That's the part that his sycophantic followers don't understand. Is Tua was actually raised better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
So he likely doesn't hold a grudge.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. You're probably right about that. So I just want to bring up some other things. On the show, I want to say, was it Tuesday or Monday or something to that effect? Or was it Sunday? Maybe it was Sunday. We were talking about the Tush push, if you remember. And El Cap made the comment that it's going to take someone to get injured for them to stop or make a change to this Tush push.
I think I know where you're going with this, bro.
And
Continue.
Brock Purdy, of all people, if you watch the video of him getting his most recent concussion, right? It was on a tush push play, and that guy's head got blasted, right? Legitly got blasted. It looked worse than to be honest, I thought he had more than a concussion than after watching the video, personally. But it's already started. So you had the 49ers game where Brock Purdy gets blasted. And then in turn, you have the Raider. I can't remember who the Raider player was, but during the Raiders game, someone got injured as well on the same style play.
Not quite where I thought you were going, but I can add to it.
Well, go ahead.
Has anybody realized that Jalen Hurts is questionable with an ankle injury right now?
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, where'd that come from? I don't remember seeing it. And if I don't remember seeing it, maybe that's because it happened under the pile of the tush push.
Yeah, it could very well. That could very well have happened.
Wouldn't that be the ironies of ironies?
Yeah, but the injuries that I fear for is exactly what happened to Brock Purdy, right? Guy's neck flew backwards, head got blasted. What I'm saying is that this style of play is dangerous, not just for the quarterback, whoever has the ball, but everybody in that pile up. You know, you got defenders, offensive linemen, all of them. You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing, Ali, I think people forget when people are calling for banning the play, a lot of people turn around on those people and say, "Oh, it's just sour grapes. You got to just find a defense that can defend it. Blah blah blah. It's football," and they immediately turn to the emasculation game. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, wait a minute here. Okay, there are 1,000 plays and formations since football was invented that have been banned from the league because they give an unfair advantage to the offense, or mainly because they're dangerous. Okay, like for instance, there's like on kickoffs or even on a running play, there used to be this formation, a wedge formation, where it was like they would basically just have the whole team doing a turtle move, like Greek style, around the runner, and it would get a lot of people hurt. And they banned it. It's been banned forever. You know what I mean? And I don't see much difference between a formation like this than a straight wedge formation that's been banned for centuries. Well, I know I'm exaggerating with centuries, but you know what I mean? Like, there are reasons to ban plays. There are plenty of plays that are in formations that are banned. Have you ever heard of, and I know I'm being I'm patronizing here, but have you ever heard of illegal procedure, illegal shift, illegal formation. Well, those are illegal because of those reasons. Either they give an unfair advantage or they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't look. If you're creating a situation where a team only has to get to 4th and 2 and they're virtually guaranteed a first down, that is an unfair advantage. That is a glitch. And I don't mean to use this kind of language, but let's stop arguing about whether it should be called brotherly shove or tush push. We should call it the bitch glitch.
The
only way to get people to stop doing it and praising it is by ridiculing it. It's the bitch glitch.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. For me though, whenever they make these rules, Color, they do actually look at the balance of the game. Does it make it too, overbalanced on one side versus the other? So where they may allow this, they may allow something else on the other side, and I have yet to see what that is yet. You know what I mean? And it's
everybody's tried everything. You can't hit the
Yeah.
quarterback, so you can't jump over the pile and just slam the quarterback.
So I don't expect it to see anything change this season. It'll be in the off season when we see how they're going to balance.
You could do something as simple as, Ollie, you could do something as simple as require it to be a running back. In other words, the quarterback can't do that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. The other part of it is how the defense is allowed to line up.
Sure,
I think that's going to be the biggest part, because
which is precisely what they're taking advantage of when they design the formation, based on who's allowed to be on the line of scrimmage and this and that and the other, and what formation on the defense. Absolutely.
Because here's the thing: even if you say it can't be the quarterback, it has to be whoever the running back is, and it's going to require him to hand the ball off. All you got to do is bunch the running back right there, and he can hand the ball off really that easily. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not anything different.
But at least you're signaling to the defense, I guess. But
what would make this a little bit more different is if they allowed the defense to line up in a way that, like what we were doing. You know what I mean? We were lining up, and even though they were calling us offsides, I think that I just be honest, I think it was kind of BS. You know what I mean? It's not like he's that much over the line. I don't know. I don't really know how you would defend it, to be honest.
Well, the only thing that would help,
a little bit of
the only rule adjustment that would help is not being able to push the quarterback from behind.
That is the biggest thing that I think is bullshit. That they need to take that away.
That's the one part right there. They would even it out.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically where I'm at with that.
Because to be honest with you, it really doesn't matter about the formation. You could run a standard formation and have the running back push the quarterback like that, and it would still be just as effective for getting 1 yard. And that's likely how they figured it out. Because I noticed that teams were starting to do that, and somebody probably got the bright idea, well, what if we design a formation to intentionally do that? And that's what they did. So all you do is you ban being able to push the quarterback from the back like that. That's all you have to do. That's the dangerous part of it anyway. You know what I mean? And that would also balance it out. Because the fact of it is, you're giving the defense a fair opportunity to defend the physical abilities of each individual 11 players, not the physical ability of Jalen Hurts while he's got 2 running backs pushing him. That's no different than using PEDs, bro. I mean, I get it if you're talking about in the field of play, if a running back's making a big run and his buddy comes up and gives him a little extra push through a blocker. Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
But literally using a player as a battering ram, bro, seriously, we're allowing that. And we're being ridiculed for not wanting to allow that. Really? Okay, whatever. I'll take the ridicule. And I'll ridicule it right back. It's called the bitch glitch from now on. That's how I'm going to refer to it.
All right, so
And only bitches use it.
only bitches. Oh God, I can only imagine what HP's next thumbnail is gonna be.
I know, right? God.
Have you seen the new one for tomorrow's show? Actually, it might for today's show. To be honest, did you see today's show? The thumbnail.
Yeah, I did. It's funny.
It is kind of funny.
It's kind of how I picture you behind your desk with your green screen. I'm like, look, he's all like short and tiny bodied. You know what I mean?
Oh, great! Now
Like
you're
sitting
just
there.
employing color. Now you're employing Michael K to start this new campaign. And I'm all short.
Oh, I know, right?
Green screen.
I
man.
know, right? I figured maybe he put a light over you like you're being interrogated or something.
Well, if I'm short and tiny, according to the pictures that you'll see of me, I'm taller than Lewis, Shake Money, and Crypto. So color's taller than I am, but still. Oh man. Anyway,
Oh, God, did you see me try to throw that junior football the other day, man? Oh my
I
God,
know.
I couldn't even. It's so sad, bro.
I think you should stick to your cornhole game.
I can't even like dude, I couldn't even get any power like whatsoever, like even to get it out of my hand. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm in so much pain, man. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, man.
My whole shoulder is destroyed.
Yeah. So yeah, that is
But
what in
yeah,
the world.
man, yeah, them nothing but errors in that cornhole game. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Ali's like, I'm never gonna doubt when Color talks about his accuracy throwing a football. I'm never gonna doubt it again, based on my cornhole accuracy.
The guy was freaking doing walk away, no look throws of the beanbag going straight in the hole, and then does the gritty down the tailgate. Ridiculous. Hold on.
Throwing it while doing the gritty, though, I was off on that throw. So I'm like Tua, I can't throw on the run.
Hold on. Here we go.
I'm kidding.
So this is some unfortunate news for Colts fans. Sergio Brown, 35, was formally charged Tuesday by the Maywood police with first-degree murder and concealment of a dead body in the death of his mother, whose body was found last month near her suburban Chicago home. So that happened yesterday as well. It's kind of unfortunate. But we're going to provide that news. Trying to think what else we have coming out. There's big rumors coming about Derrick Henry is going to be dealt. I've heard the Rams are interested, Cowboys, Baltimore is interested, and now the Buffalo Bills are interested. So we'll see.
And
what
you know
happens.
we're interested. I mean, what's changed with our running back situation? We have to be interested.
I don't know if we have to be interested, to be honest.
We've been interested in everybody else.
I'm more interested in bringing teams to bolster this defense, to be honest, or bringing players in for that. Specifically, the defensive line, or let's see, I'm trying to think, who else? Maybe upgrade a linebacker, or even I know this is gonna be people are gonna be like, what are you doing type moment, but maybe bringing in another corner. I keep hearing that Patrick Surtain's up for trade still, even though as much as I think the Denver Broncos won't do it, everyone's saying that he's definitely on the table. And I'd hate to see the Eagles or even some other team that we have to play against go get him, personally. I'd rather see Patrick Surtain's legacy here, and I would rather see, let me ask you this, Color, and to be honest, we already have Ramsey, right? Would you trade X for a Patrick Surtain Jr.? Knowing the fact that you have to pay X $26 million next season.
But why would the Broncos take X?
You're going to give something a little bit more than just X. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, would you do it?
Of course.
So you would do it at this point in juncture of the season?
Yeah, I just don't know what compels the Broncos to give up a young corner piece to their build.
Well, they are advertising, and I don't know, bro. I don't know what their thought process is. They're advertising that the entire team
if they're advertising that, but that's different if they're advertising. I mean,
Yeah, they're advertising that
that answers the question.
Listen to any offer for any player at this point. The only player that wasn't listed on these slew of players was Russell Wilson. That's it.
Well, that answers the question as to whether they see him as a corner piece going forward. So there you go.
Yeah. So I'm just curious.
Like they obviously don't see him that way. Right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Like, would you consider it? Would you?
I'd find a way to get him in keep-X.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as Derrick Henry, bro. As far as Derrick Henry, yeah, sure. That's not I mean, we need offensive linemen, but the last person that asked for offensive linemen got fired, dude. Just saying.
Jay, first of all, just so you know, because Jay's taking my proposal too seriously, bro. I am bringing up a hypothetical. Because corner is a position we don't need, and this team has a history of bringing in players that we don't need. You understand what I mean by that, color? We didn't really have a need at wide receiver yet.
That's why I was talking about Derrick Henry and not an offensive lineman.
I understand, but like we have a history of bringing in wide receivers that we don't really need. For example, we brought in
exactly. We're probably going to get Devontae Adams before the trade deadline. Likely.
Even what was it? 2 years ago, we used to joke around that this team brings in corners like it's water, because they kept bringing corner after corner after corner. You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. Is okay. What position do we really not need at this point? We have Ramsey, we have X, we have some guys coming back in the corner position. Oh, they're gonna bring in another corner. That's why I thought about it, and I was like, and I keep seeing Patrick Surtain Jr.'s name popping up. Why wouldn't I at least entertain it? That's basically what I was getting at.
What we're missing is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. So yeah, we might get Devontae Adams.
Oh man.
Unless you think Cedric Wilson is gonna replace Tyreek for the rest of the season.
No. I will say Cedric Wilson has come in the last 2 games. He's starting to finally show why we kind of brought him here a little bit. I know. It's starting to come up, but we'll see. But long story short,
I think he was getting in his feels with all these other wide receivers coming through, bro.
My point is that Patrick Surtain Jr. would be very interesting, because I was slamming for us to get him before we got Ramsey a long time ago, and if we were to get him, you know what I mean? You have basically your tandem of corners for the next couple years without any problem. You have to understand, this guy's just hitting his prime. You know what I mean? He's not even fully there. He's still young. I think he's still on a rookie contract. So
just wanted to say good morning to Scummy.
Oh, good morning, Scummy. So
look what he said.
Damn.
And he says it with such, like, he doesn't even put an LOL. He just says it, it's great.
That's funny. Yeah, I do like our D. I do think our D line needs to be addressed. The 2 positions I think need to be addressed primarily on the defense is middle linebacker and defensive line, and specifically a nose tackle or defensive a real, true defensive tackle presence. Not really presence, I should say. That's not the word I'm looking for. They need help. That's what I'm saying, because you only have 3 guys, and even then, it's at times I find that it's not enough. So this is my opinion. Corner we can kind of get away with, but knowing our team, I feel like we're gonna make a trade we don't see that we needed. Like, for example, did we really need Bradley Chubb last season? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, kind of.
No, I don't think we needed Bradley Chubb. The position I think we needed was a linebacker, like Roquan Smith, for example, or Raekwon Smith. You know what I mean? That's what we needed. But no, we went and got outside linebacker / defensive end. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense to me. I don't know. Anyway, Color, let's keep it moving.
Like I said, Devontae Adams, bring him home.
So currently it's 7:12 a.m. Let's actually, talk about some football, which we already have been doing, but we're going to talk about...
No, why not?
It's time for some cook or get cooked. No, that's old. Time for some football. So let's talk about this. According to Sports Illustrated, we'll go over some articles that we have here. Let's actually talk about the big one everyone's concerned about right now. Tyreek Hill sidelined by hip injury. Right? Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill has an infamous saying that cheetahs don't get hurt, which is a reference to his durability. Hill, who hasn't missed an NFL regular season since 2020 and has missed just 6 games in his 8-year career, sat out the entirety of Wednesday's practice because of a hip injury he suffered in Miami's 31-17 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a little weird not having someone like Tyreek out there, his leadership, his aura, but it calls for other guys to step up to his room. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa after practice. I think Jalen had a really good practice today. A lot of guys had good practices today, especially being on Wednesday. So yeah, not having someone like Tyreek is hard, but that calls for other guys to step up. Tua was then asked how the Dolphins offense could make up for not having him in the lineup if it turns out he can't play against New England Patriots on Sunday. Yeah, I don't think anyone can emulate what Tyreek does on the field. His speed, his cuts, his ins and outs, breaks. I don't think there's anyone that can emulate him. He's on his own league. He's one of a kind, but needless to say, I think people forget about things that Jalen Waddle can do, the things that he already has done for our team since his rookie year. And there's a lot of other guys I think you can't sleep on.
All right, one semantical point, Ali. I'm not sure Tua understands the use of the word emulate, because you actually can emulate him, but that's the problem, is you can never be him. You could only emulate him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but does anyone really have the speed the way he does it, though?
No, I just meant emulation is just mimicry. That don't mean you're actually doing what he's doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You can only emulate him, is what he should have said.
You can try to copy him, but it's really just a copy. You know, it's not
right. You can try to copy him, but you can only emulate him. Is what I meant. That's what I mean. You know. I'm being semantical. I'm just, I'm being dorky.
I understand. And just so you know, this is by Omar Kelly. Omar Kelly, I think you need to use your review and spell check a little bit better. Because I've been reading some of his articles lately, and no offense to Omar, but there's a lot of, you make it very hard to read sometimes, and I'll explain why. This next paragraph, he goes on to say, if we couldn't have Tyreek, that would be OUH. I don't understand what he means by that. But the show goes on. You got to continue to play somewhere down the line. We're going to get Tyreek back. and it has to be one of those things where you never let your foot off the gas and you don't lose the rhythm as a team or as a unit. Hill leads the team with 53 receptions, which he turned into 902 yards and 7 touchdowns, and is a focal point of Miami's offense, which leads the NFL in scoring, rushing, and passing heading into Week 8 games. The Patriots happen to be one of the 2 teams that limited Hill's productivity this season, holding him in 5 receptions for 40 yards and touchdown. The Buffalo Bills, which limited him to 3 receptions for 58 yards, are the other. If Hill isn't able to play on Sunday, the Dolphins likely would elevate Braxton Berrios, Cedric Wilson, or Robbie Chosen in the starting role, pairing a receiver or 2 with Jalen Waddle. The Dolphins also have Chase Claypool, who acquired and traded in Chicago 2 weeks ago. Claypool played 4 offensive snaps in Miami's 31-17 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, but didn't have a pass thrown his way. The Dolphins also have River Craycraft, who's nursing a shoulder injury, practicing with the team on Wednesday after opening his 21-day window to return to injured reserve. Now, caller, I want to bring some things to perspective of this, right? Didn't Tyreek have an injury like this last season that we thought he was going to be out for a long time, and he ended up playing, or they ended up only holding him out 1 game? Wasn't it something to that effect?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So until they come out and said, yeah, this is kind of serious, or yeah, he's going to be out sometime, I think they're just putting up smoke and mirrors, bro. You know what I mean? Because technically, you could keep him out of practice for 1 day. That doesn't mean he's missing 6 games or 4 games or whatever. You know what I mean? He may not miss a game at all. It's freaking Tyreek Hill, for God's sakes. The guy does this perfect. I'm just gonna be honest. Does it hurt? Do we actually need him to win? That's the better question. Do we need him to beat the Patriots?
Of course not.
I don't think so either.
And I want to be very clear about that. And loud. And repeat it. Mm-hmm. No, we do not need, nor does Tua need, Tyreek Hill to win.
Mm-mm. I don't think he does. Yeah. I don't think he needs them to win at all. I think we have all the talent we need here. The quarterback has all the talent.
Ali, that being said, I want to be very clear about what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because it keeps getting misconstrued. Okay. In 2021, we didn't have Tyreek Hill. And you could argue that the talent of wide receivers is about equally the same as it was in 2021 without Tyreek Hill. We got Jalen Waddle. We got a good fast slot receiver. We got Cedric Wilson. You could have, based on what he's done for us, you could equate him to Isaiah Ford. Or, well, we'll give him Devontae Parker. Okay. Point is, you're at the same point you were before we spent a bunch of money on quote-unquote star weapons for Tua. Okay? So now we can compare the level at which Tua was at in his play. At that point, we can make a fair assessment as to how far Tua has come in his improvement by now watching him destroy the Patriots this Sunday without Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we needed to see this. I'm not saying that, he's not going to be able to do it without Tyreek, or Tyreek made him what he is, or we have to show that it wasn't Tyreek that made him what it is. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can get a fair, clear, comparable assessment of where he was at that time as to where he is now, because the talent level around him is about equal as it was in 2021 now, without Tyreek on the field, with our decimated offensive line, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see a completely different level of play than we saw in 2021 with that level of talent, then I think it's fair to say Tua has improved. I don't think any of us believe he hasn't. We're just saying that's clear evidence that, yes, this man has gotten better for himself, not because of everybody else around him, not because of the coach, not because of anybody, but because of him.
Yeah.
And his ability to persevere and get better. That's what we're trying to determine. And going without Tyreek this week will allow us to do that. That's all I'm saying. People can misconstrue it however they want, but that's all I'm saying.
Look, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear, bro. I definitely understand and agree.
It's not about proving he doesn't need Tyreek or none of that. It's simply seeing fairly where he was at then with that level of talent and where he's at now, because we're forced in a situation this Sunday to revert back to that level of talent around him. You see what I'm saying? So now we get a clear picture of what he's done for himself.
Here's the other.
That's all I'm saying.
Another thing I want to bring perspective to this, right? Though Tyreek may not be there, you actually technically already have 2 or 3 other starting caliber wide receivers that available to you. You have Waddle, obviously, right? And then you have Chase Claypool, who was a starter not too long ago for the Pittsburgh Steelers and other teams. You know what I mean? And then in turn, you also have Robbie Chosen, who not too long ago was a starter, like the Panthers, stuff like that.
And our running back room is decimated. We have Mostert and basically Ahmed. So you're looking at about the same talent in the running back room as 2021. We're talking about levels here. We saw how Tua played back in 2021. Some of us weren't sure, okay, is it his just lack of talent at the time, or lack of showing the talent, or was it this or that around him? And now fast forward, we put this or that around him and the numbers are blown out the window. But I would argue half of that is Tua's responsibility as well, because it wouldn't, like, we're talking about exponentially blown out the window. You know what I mean? So obviously it's not just Tyreek, and that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, now that we're in, our team this week is going to be back to levels it was at 2021, we can clearly see Tua's talent that he's bringing to the table when he wasn't before. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it gets misconstrued as we're trying to, you know, he has this extra proving that he needs to, or people don't believe he can do it without Tyreek, or it's all because of Tyreek. That's not what I'm trying to show or prove or anything. I'm trying to give people evidence that Tua has done for himself, that he has improved for himself.
What's up, Mr.
And
Paul?
We'll be able to see those improvements this week, especially if we get over this hump of not being able to score a lot of points on Belichick. Like, you know what I mean? We go rip off 35 points this week with a decimated team. That's Tua. You see what I'm saying? That's all anybody's saying.
Yeah. I definitely understand where you're coming from. For me though, it's like, I was making the argument last night, and I don't think people like necessarily understood what I was saying, is that we're sitting here and I understand your point of view and your preference of why you're bringing this to a point.
Well, be clear, Ali, I have us winning 34-24, so I have us being able to put up points even without Tyreek. So this notion that I don't think we can do it without Tyreek is bogus.
Yeah, you actually have a score closer to mine. I have us winning 28 to 21. That's where I'm at.
And we haven't even proven thus far to be able to score more than 24 against the Patriots. And here I am predicting 34 without Tyreek. So how anybody thinks that I think it's all because of Tyreek is just being disingenuous.
What I was trying to get at yesterday, I was making the argument that we've already seen this experiment. He's already gone outside of the one win last season and the win this season, right?
Right.
He's won 3 other times against Bill Belichick without Tyreek Hill.
And that was a
You know?
great point that you were making, because back in 2021, we swept them. So,
Yes.
Yes.
And
like,
we've already seen him do it without Tyreek Hill. We had Jalen Waddle. I think Devontae Parker was on the team. I don't remember who else the other wide receivers were. I don't remember. But that was my point. I was like, why are we even arguing this? We've seen him do it. What's the big deal?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And as far as the big teams like Kansas City and the like, we haven't beat them with Tyreek either. So it's not like that proves anything either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the other part of it, though. The other part of it is that our defense, in my opinion, has gotten better than when they first met earlier this season. So the team, on a defensive standpoint, is going to be different than what they faced the last time. So, so just so you're aware of that. And then
I just wanted to, the whole reason I brought all that up, Ollie, is because I just wanted to be clear when I talk about this comparison that I don't want it to be construed as I'm trying to prove that Tua can't do it or Tua needs Tyreek to do it or anything like that. It's just simply wanting to see where he's at now again, now that he's back in a situation he was in 2021. Because remember, Ollie, what I said was, you bring up a great point about us beating them already without Tyreek and without the like, you know what I mean? So that's a good, fair point. But we haven't ever destroyed them. You see what I'm saying? With or without
other weapon
Tyreek.
we haven't talked about?
What I'm saying is with or without Tyreek, we haven't destroyed them. So if we don't have Tyreek this week, and we go in there with our skeleton crew and Tua at the helm, and we put up 34 points on Bill Belichick's defense, that's something to say. That is something to give credit to Tua exclusively for. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely hear
That's all I'm trying to say.
Here's another thing, Color. Here's another point of it. You know, one weapon we haven't talked about since the Buffalo game, bro. And to be honest, it's almost like they hit it completely. You haven't seen it. And this could be a game where it's perfect to bring it out. Our favorite player.
Let me try to guess here.
Lewis's favorite player.
Smythe.
You didn't see Smythe in the Eagles game hardly at all.
No, bro.
You didn't see him. Hold on. Let's keep going. You didn't see him versus the Giants hardly at all. You know what I mean? So,
but you know who you did see cooking us? Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Which is like, dude, that's coaching. That's game planning. That's not Smythe not being able to get open. We're not targeting our tight ends, dude. You're right.
And look what Patriots did. They used the tight end to win the game last week, right? So watch. In the first meeting, they did use Durham Smythe a lot. And he was used a little bit more than I thought he would be. So I do expect that to happen. I do think Durham Smythe, this is one of those games where you're going to see the tight end. That's my opinion.
I mean, we've been waiting all year. You know what I mean? Like, I know we had a couple games where we utilized him a lot and Tua hit him and he came through. But I'm talking about, like, boom, easy touchdown in the red zone. You know what I mean? That's right. We got a good tight end that can catch the ball. You know what I mean? Like, why not target him?
Yep. All right. So let's talk about the injury report. Just so you're aware, for this week, Wednesday's injury report. Thursdays will come out later this afternoon, so we'll get more of an update. So the big news was the hip injury that caused Tyreek Hill to miss practice Wednesday. Obviously, was the big news from first injury report from the Miami Dolphins Week 8 matchup against New England Patriots. Hill, as it turns out, was one of the 4 starters who did not take part in the first practice of the week because of an injury. Joined on the did not practice list is safety Javon Holland. Obviously, he's in concussion protocol. Fullback Alec Ingold has a foot issue, and running back Raheem Mostert, who has an ankle issue. The one injury there that is afflicting Mostert, who played against the Eagles on Sunday night and finished with 45 rushing yards on 9 attempts. He was not among the players with injuries in the press box during the game. Ingold didn't practice the previous 2 Wednesdays either, but he played against both the Panthers and Eagles, so there shouldn't be a ton of concern there. Additionally, the Dolphins had 8 players listed as limited participants in practice Wednesday, including a whopping 5 corners: Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, Nick Needham, Kader Kahu, and Cam Smith, who also has an ankle injury. This is ridiculous. Oh, all right, keep going. Howard, Ramsey, Needham didn't play against the Eagles, with Ramsey not yet on the active roster and Needham only activated off the PUP on Tuesday. Also limited was wide receiver River Craycraft shoulder, Connor Williams, and wide receiver Jalen Waddle back. Craycraft was designated to return Wednesday, and this was his first practice. Williams has missed the past 2 games and 3 of the past 4 because of injury. Patriots injury reports. New England had an even dozen players on its injury report Wednesday, but only player that did not practice was defensive line Keon White, who's dealing with a concussion. Among the 11 players listed as limited participants was tight end Hunter Henry, ankle issues starting defensive tackle Christian Barmone, knee starting offensive tackle Trent Brown, ankle and knee, and former Dolphins defensive tackle Devon Godshaw, ankle. Right? All of those guys have injuries that were limited. The others were offensive line Alvin Anderson, cornerback Jonathan Jones, Ty Montgomery, Cole Strange, Josh Uche, I think is how you say that. I don't know how you say that. And then Sean Wade and defensive line Dietrich Wise Jr. So that is the injury report for Wednesday.
Just so you're aware, you did make a spoonerism. It was funny.
Say it. What was my spoonerism?
You said Hunter Henry.
Did I say Hunter Henry? Oh, I thought I said Hunter Henry. I'm sorry, my bad.
I just look for them all the time, bro. They're funny to me.
I got you, bro. I got you. So anyway, yeah, that's the current injury report. It's going to be very interesting what comes out today. I don't expect. I personally, I think they're gonna put Tyreek on ice just for the Germany game. You know what I mean? I think he could even still played with this injury as he did during the Eagles game. But I think they're like, you know what? We don't want this to be worse. We want you to be 100% for the injury. Sorry, for the Germany game. Let's just put you on ice for this week. What do you think? Is that maybe what's going on? You know what I mean? Do you think maybe
with
that's
who?
an issue?
With who? Ingold?
With Tyreek.
Oh, with
Because you remember, Tyreek went back into the game.
Playing. He's going to play for Kansas City. I'm almost sure of that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This is the week before the Germany game. You know that's going to be a big game.
They could be putting him on ice for that in preparation. Look, I'm not saying that it's a fake injury. I'm just saying that if it's something minimal that he could play this week, yeah, they could be holding him out to put him on ice for optimal performance against Kansas City. Absolutely.
I don't really say it's a fake injury. It may be an injury he could play with. He was
right.
Go ahead.
Right. He may be 95%, and they're like, well, 5% is enough for us to hold you out. You know.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's 95, but I mean, he may be like.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's a fake injury. I just mean that it's like you said, it's something he could likely play through, but why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to risk it right before a big game like Germany. So that's kind of
if I know Craycraft's only in his first week of the 3 back, but if he's ready to go already, let's say we do really well against New England. Mm-hmm. Had anybody thought that he's just as important to our offense as Tyreek is and Tua and everybody else? I mean, we have been kind of struggling ever since he was gone, you know?
Yeah, this is true. This is definitely true. if I'm Mike McDaniel, what do you think? Do you pull the Bill Belichick card and you send Tyreek to Germany ahead of time to get acclimated? What do you think?
I don't know about that. I mean, unless he wants to go to have a good time. But
get acclimated to the weather, because I know the weather there is different than it is here.
It's not that different.
What I mean?
It's like Mediterranean climate.
In Germany right now?
It's kind of like Germany. Germany is kind of like at least Munich, where we'll be playing. This time of year is going to be a lot like.
Are we playing in Munich or Frankfurt?
We're playing in Munich.
We are playing in Munich. Okay.
Right, and the weather there is kind of northern Mediterranean. So yeah, it can be cold. It snows there, but it's not. It's more like I'd say like eastern seaboard of the United States.
It says currently it's 52 degrees.
Right,
Today's high is 57 with a low of 49.
But look in Maryland right now.
Okay. Baltimore area maybe?
Yeah.
54 degrees right now. But
See what I'm saying? It's about like the midsection of the United States. You know what I mean?
But here in Miami, for example, I think we said that it was 78 degrees right now.
Oh yeah, we're pretty warm yesterday, dude. But it has been windy, and I think that's what the weather question was about to Belichick yesterday.
At 79 degrees right now, bro. So my point is, compared to our weather, that is a big difference. So
yeah, but Tyreek played in Kansas City for 6 years, dude. Like he played in 19-degree weather, man. You know what I mean?
You're right. That's a good point. I'm just thinking it's all the way in Germany. You want your best player to be at the best. Why not have him acclimate?
If he feels like it, yeah, sure. If he feels like it, sure.
I don't know.
It's a nice visit. It's a nice visit anyway.
I hear you. I'm just thinking, I was just thinking ahead of time. I was like, man, if you're putting him on ice, I'd send him over there and get him already acclimated. That's just me, though. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Colors.
Yeah, as far as the weather, though, they asked Belichick yesterday about the weather, and his answer involved the kickers. So I suspect I didn't hear the question, but I suspect it was more geared towards the idea that we're looking for it to be windy Sunday, not so much hot. You know what I mean? Although it was pretty hot yesterday. Yesterday got back up to summer levels. You know what I mean, in my opinion. But it was windy, and it has been windy lately. So I don't know if they're still calling for that Sunday.
Gotcha. We'll have to see. We'll have to definitely see. But it'll be a very interesting game. So you're saying your score prediction was what, 34-21 is what you said?
34-24.
34-24. Okay.
Yep, I think New England continues the minimal success that they've had on offense that they had against Buffalo. They scored 29 against Buffalo. I think they come back down to earth a little bit, but still kind of are able to move the ball and whatnot. And I think they, with our defense the way it is, they likely, I don't know whether it comes ahead of time like with Carolina or whether it comes in junk time, but I think they can put up 24 points on us.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm
I just
don't
think they can match our offense. Even without Tyreek, I just don't think they can match our offensive production, even with our skeleton crew.
Mm-hmm. If Mostert plays, I'm going to maybe go a little bit more than 28 points. I'm going to go 30, 32, something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that Mostert thing because what are we doing? Ahmed at running back 1 and that's it? I mean, who do we have left?
Jeff Wilson, maybe.
Wilson has to play this week. Even with the the way things are now, where even if Mostert is able to suit up with the ankle injury, Wilson has to be ready to go.
Yep.
What else are we gonna do?
I don't know. How many more?
You're not gonna go 95% pass against Bill Belichick's defense and expect Tua to survive that pass rush.
Mm-hmm. How many more games do we have before A-Chain can come back? We played 2 without him, right? Am I wrong about that?
I think 2 now, maybe 3.
Hold on.
He got hurt. He got hurt against the Giants.
Yeah. So When did we play the Giants game? Do you remember?
Not really, but we played Carolina and Philly since then.
Okay, so he comes back after the Germany game, so the Raiders game is what he can come back to.
Right.
Okay. I don't expect them to really have him work out 3 weeks or whatever before they decide to bring him back or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna have the bye week there also, so that's another week for him to kind of heal up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think he would come back a little bit faster.
I mean, the other thing you can imagine is supplementing the run game with Claypool, but I don't know about all that, dude.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But what's the solution, bro? We have no running backs.
That's
If
true.
we're not gonna play Wilson for whatever reason, dude, then we're cooked.
There
We got
are
Ahmed going
running
to
backs,
RB1 with no backup.
There are running backs on free agency that we could sign. There's a big name. Just gonna put it out
Who's
there,
that?
and he's great in the passing game.
I thought they already signed him.
Did they sign him? I didn't think he
Kareem
signed
Hunt?
anywhere.
Kareem Hunt?
Not Kareem Hunt.
No.
Our favorite running back that we were touting for based on what he can bring to the game. He isn't your every down running back.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Mr. Playoff Lenny.
Yeah.
Playoff Lenny, yeah.
You could bring him in. He's going to definitely get you that 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, no problem. He's really effective in the passing game. If you really want to be pro passing, this guy is.
And last seen nursing a car fire on I-95 for the Turnpike down in the 305 recently.
Yeah. So, he is out there, from what I understand. I don't think he's signed anywhere. I'm looking right now. I believe he's.
No, I'm serious. He had a car fire on a Florida highway a few weeks ago, like last month or a couple months ago or something.
That's what you get for driving a Dodge or whatever it was. I think it was Dodge.
I think it was a Dodge.
That's what you get for that. Anyway, long story short, that is an option for us.
Playoff Lenny, I'll take him. I'd take him even if we don't need, like even if we don't need, I'd rent him for the rest of the run,
Okay.
Playoff Lenny.
We have about 15 minutes, right? Because I gotta cut it short. Right at 8 o'clock, I gotta bounce. Let's let people put questions in the chat, and we'll talk about them. Whatever questions you guys have, put it in the chat, and we'll have a discussion about it. Someone's asking in color, you would know. Miss Finn's gonna go live this morning. Does anyone know?
I'd imagine so. She has been pretty consistent the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for her, but I would imagine so. If I check YouTube right now, it'll steal my microphone.
Michael K says Bills were supposed to bring Ham in for a workout, but canceled a couple weeks ago. He was out of football shape per rumors.
Who's Ham?
I have no idea. Ham? H-O-M? Maybe he meant to say him.
Oh. Yeah, he must be talking to somebody. Just want to say good
Oh
morning
my God,
to
look at
Shekel.
Scummy's comment. Oh my God. Come on,
I
Scummy.
wanted to
Why
say
did you
I
do
did
it?
want to say hi to Shekel this morning. He's that person's been really kind to me ever since they started coming around. So I wanted to say good morning to Shekel. What is Scummy saying? I agree with Ali and Color. We have to trade to him by the trade deadline. I mean, gosh, we could get a haul, dude.
Color, the problem with that comment is that now people are going to come in here and see that comment and think we actually said that.
Oh, I hope so. As far as my part goes, I can't speak for you, but
No. We're not trading to calm down. Shake Money wants to know, what is the meaning of life? I can't tell you what the meaning is, but I can tell you it equates to 42.
I mean, let's entertain that, Ollie. Like, imagine what we could get for him right now, bro. Holy shiz, man. You know what
I know
mean?
the Patriots would offer us 2 or 3 first-rounders.
We would definitely have Caleb in the bag. We could parlay Tua into Caleb and Marvin Harrison, bro.
You could, technically.
I mean, not gonna lie, it's kind of enticing.
Okay, so we have a couple questions.
You know what? Wait a minute. You know what? I want to say what Scummy just said. I literally just predicted verbatim what he just said, that he was going to type that, bro. In my head, I just predicted it verbatim. I was going to say it before he said it. The meaning to life is trading Tua.
Oh, my God.
I knew he was going to say it, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so thank you, Kevin Hans, for joining the show. I appreciate you listening, bro. We appreciate you. So we got some questions. Let's go through some of this. If you guys think we need running back help, would you guys go get Henry? No, it's going to cost too much. And I also think that there's not enough left in him to make it worth it to me. I think
I'll steal Kyle Krabs' take and say, if we throw something at Tennessee, some nonsensical piece in there, and they accept it, good. We'll take it. Okay. You know what I mean? But don't try that hard. You know what I mean?
I just don't want to give up the bag for somebody we're only going to have for maybe 2 years left. You know what I mean? That's basically where I'm getting at. Leonard Fournette, I can get him for maybe a buck and a pack of alpacas. I could get him really cheap, and it's good for the 1 year, and I don't feel bad about it because I paid hardly nothing.
Right.
That's basically what I was getting.
I don't know. I'm really liking the idea of playoff Lenny, bro. I mean, the guy has played for every other Florida team and been to the playoffs and one of them with the Super Bowl both times. So, I mean, matter of fact, playoff Lenny, and here's the thing, playoff Lenny, along with Jalen Ramsey, are the reason that Jaguars got to the AFC Championship game. Now, if you were to go back in time, all things being equal, paradigms being equal,
you're right back.
Quarterbacks performing the way they are right now. If you were to go back in time and be able to replace Blake Bortles with Tua, what happens that year? So I'm just saying, you bring in playoff Lenny, reunite him with Jalen Ramsey, with our offense and all that, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Yeah, I'm all for it. Bring in playoff Lenny. I mean, what could it hurt? He ain't going to drop a ball. The guy's got a great catch percentage. I'm just saying. Nice outlet to have, outlet back to throw to. Kind of could act as in a tight end role without having to utilize your tight ends. Knows how to sit down in his zone, knows how to get open, knows how to block. He's a big dude. Knows how to fall into the end zone. Yeah, bring in playoff Lenny. Let me look for some questions. I got to zoom in here. And Henry wouldn't take me. Yeah, I agree, Scummy. And Mansa, great minds think alike. Absolutely. That's why I like Scummy. He makes me laugh. You know. Anyway, let's see. Makes sense. Fournette probably can't take his rental car out of Florida due to cheaper rates. Yeah, you're probably right.
Sorry about that. Colored kid was crying.
Okay, that's okay. What do you think about what I was saying about the reunification of playoff Lenny and Jalen Ramsey?
It's a great idea.
They got to the AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles, dude.
Yeah,
can you imagine replacing Blake Bortles with Tua that year?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Check this out.
I mean, Blake Bortles had games where he threw for 56 yards, bro.
Yeah. Listen, let me just bring something about Leonard Fournette, because I've noticed something the last 2 games. In certain plays that we ran, there was a block that needed to be made by the running back, or a skill set player that was, coming by, running through or whatever, and they whiffed it completely. Chase Claypool whiffed the block, for example. So did I can't remember if it was Mostert or Savon Ahmed or somebody whiffed a block.
Likely Ahmed.
All right. And that was along the offensive line. That's a block that Leonard Fournette's not missing. He's not going to miss or be afraid to make that block. You know what I mean? That's why a Leonard Fournette entices me, because one, I'm not going to have to spend hardly anything for him, right? And two, it does just what I need him for: the blocking, the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, the goal line touchdowns. That's what I need him for. We don't have Brooks now, so he can't be our goal line guy. So this guy could come in and be our goal line guy. Basically, what I'm saying. I don't need him to be the, 1st, 2nd down running back. I need him for 3rd downs, 4th downs, and goal line. That's it.
And we bring him in, and right as Jalen Ramsey's coming back. So there's a game coming up soon where we got Leonard Fournette and Ramsey on the start of playing their first game back at the same time. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Like pick up right back where they left off in Jacksonville down here in South Beach. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, bro. That'll be a good little side story. Always got to create side stories, bro. The more side stories you have, the more chance you have of winning the Super Bowl, man. You know how it is. It's just like winning the lottery, bro. You don't just go buy tickets. You gotta play in a way that if you win, you become a story. Because when do we ever hear about the winners? When something weird happens, right? Oh, this guy found $1 on the ground and went and bought a scratch off and it won him $10,000. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to make a story out of yourself if you expect to win that shit. That stuff. That's all I'm saying. Make a story out of yourself. That's how you win.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to be that guy that found $1 on the ground and played it on a scratcher and won $10,000.
Yeah. So
we hear stories like that all the time.
Yeah, Michael K made a point earlier to say that Henry would only cost maybe 2 mid-round picks, but it also comes with a pretty hefty contract, if memory serves me right. Let me look that up real quick, because that's the part that...
Well, same thing with that guy, Eddie Jackson, that Kyle Krabs was talking about, that safety, Eddie Jackson. He comes with being owed $14.6 million next year. So that's a trade that likely won't happen. But if it did, it would come with us doing something to entice the Bears into covering some of that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This would come with a $16.3 million cap hit.
Right. So we would have to entice Tennessee into taking on some of that money. But keep in mind, Ali, we were willing to pay Taylor 14 or 15 million bucks. You know what I mean? We just cleared up another 1.5 million. What would be the difference between 14 or 15 and 16 if we could get Tennessee to cover, let's say, 5 million?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I just, like I said, I don't want to give up too much, especially when the guy maybe has a year or two left in the league. You know what I mean?
Again, that's precisely what, like I said, when I said I'm stealing Krabs' take, that's precisely what he said. You don't overreach, but if it's easy and makes sense, you know what I mean? No reason not to, given our current situation. Plus, even if we didn't have the need at running back, you're talking about a guy, if you're going on a Super Bowl run, you're talking about a guy that can guarantee you a couple touchdowns here and there. I mean, you're talking about a good war when you're dealing with a guy that can walk into the end zone, you know, through a freight train. You know what I mean? I mean, that's gonna you can chalk up, you know, a certain number of touchdowns for the rest of the year if you brought in Derrick Henry. It's simply mathematical. It's like analytics. You know what I mean? And I know that doesn't work as well in football as it does baseball, but you can very clearly see a wins above replacement number here being large with a guy like Derrick Henry coming into on our team with our system. I mean, bro, can you imagine like our zone running scheme and him picking one of those open holes and just plowing through it, dude? I mean, jeez, man.
Yeah.
He would complete the puzzle, bro. He would be the Zonka, man.
Yeah.
We'd be unstoppable with Derrick Henry, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially since you're talking about bringing in a guy that if he came into Miami, he knows we're trying to win. He knows that he would be the edge that would almost guarantee us the win. Okay? And so he's not going to be playing like a guy that's like, oh, I'm done with my career and blah, blah, blah. No, he's going to come in with fire. And Derrick Henry with fire, remember, he's a lot like A-Chain. And I know that sounds weird to say. I don't mean physically. I mean the fact that A-Chan hasn't played in a couple weeks and he's still leading the league. You know what I mean? In certain areas.
Yeah. But here's the other part. Michael K is making a good point. What's his 2024 hit? The 2024 hit doesn't look anywhere near what the 2023 hit does. But for me, we have other needs too at the same time, and I'm not trying to kill all of our options with one stone. You know what I mean? I like multiple stones. You know what I'm saying, Color? So that's basically
true. But if you think about it on those terms, Ali, he's the type of running back because of what he brings to the table. Okay, we're not just talking about somebody that might perform or might help us keep the ball longer. No, he will help us keep the ball longer, which will in turn help your defense so that the particular issues and holes we have on defense can be further masked by the fact that they won't be on the field as much. Okay, and secondly, when you're talking about, well, there's actually three things, but the second one being when you're talking about the other elevation is the very offensive line we're talking about having a need on. Because, dude, it makes it a lot easier to block the guy in front of you knowing a freight train's coming behind you, bro. It just has to. You know what I mean? In some respects. And also the blocking. He's a big dude that can block. And thirdly, the aspect that you're going to be able to salt the game away when you're up 4 points with 5 minutes left in the game. You're going to be able to eat that time right off the clock with a guy like Henry. By then, the defense will be so decimated and so tired. Imagine putting Derrick Henry. Okay, here's the scenario. It's the fourth quarter. There's 5 minutes and 46 seconds left. You've got the ball and you've got a 4-point lead. And you're facing Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? Now, you've already been pounding the ball all day with Derrick Henry on that defense. This game is in Miami. Okay? And it's a really hot January day. And it's the fourth quarter, and you've been doing that to their defense all day, and now you serve up more Derrick Henry on that defense. You don't think we're getting first down after first down? Isn't that not much different than the tush push?
Yeah, you kind of right.
Sorry, the bitch glitch.
The bitch glitch.
Derrick Henry would be our own bitch glitch, basically.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to kind of say.
The same comments that Batman made earlier on before we did anything this offseason. We were talking about bringing in a Derrick Henry because the rumors were there that they were open to trading him.
Well, what's our other bitch glitch right now? Our other bitch glitch is it's 3rd and 18 and we throw a bomb, you know, because 9 times out of 10 we've been completing that and amazingly converting that 3rd down. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, we'd have another one. We'd have another glitch. Well, what if we can just, hey, we're having a problem running the ball. Oh, well, just guess what? Keep serving it up with Henry and see how long that lasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what the good. You know, you both have solid.
I'm just saying. One other thing. Case in point. Sunday night just happened. Do you think? And I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha question. Serious question. You can answer yes or no if you like. Okay. Do you think that we would be at -7 yards at halftime rushing the ball if we had Derrick Henry?
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Because that's it right there, bro. You know what I mean? And that to me is worth $15 million.
Yeah, I already know this. It's
if we're on a real Super Bowl run, that has got to be worth $15 million, bro.
Look.
Otherwise, you ain't serious. You know what I mean?
Besides the money and stuff, you also have the draft capital that you're going to have to give up. Now, they're saying 2 mid-round picks. We're already limited on mid-round picks. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of those. You know what I mean? And right now we have a 1st, 2nd, and maybe a 4th, I think. Or
I think we already, honestly, Ali, I think we already became out of the conversation once you listed 4 other teams that are interested, because that's going to drive up the draft capital needed to get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't need to be in no bidding war for him. That's for sure.
That is true. Hold on 1 second. I'm just trying to see what picks we have. I'm curious now. Here we go. Draft capital. So we have. There we go. So for 2024, we have our 1st, 2nd. We forfeited our 3rd. We have a 4th round pick, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So the 3rd is what we don't have. 5th, it looks like
an early 5th could be considered a mid-round pick, but unfortunately, we don't expect to have early picks.
Yeah, I don't want to give up anything too crazy.
I mean, you could give a late 2nd and a late 4th would probably suffice.
I personally
would you give a late 2nd and a late 4th? You know what I mean?
I'd give.
What about a late 2nd and a late 5th?
That's true. You know, I don't know who it was. I think it was Vonjo.
What about this? What about this though? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But what about a late 2nd, a late 4th? But for them, in order for us to give up the late 4th, they got to take on half the salary. Would you do it then? You see what I'm saying? That's like, you know, there's ways we can work this deal, bro. You know. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you a minute ago.
Lewis, we're just talking hypotheticals, Lewis. We're not being serious that this is going to happen. I don't think we do anything either. But shout out to Vonjo. I want to make this last point before we shut it down. Shout out to Vonjo. He in the spaces, I think he was the one that said it, and you were there, Color, that if we're gonna make these picks and we're not even gonna try to put them on the field, what's the point of even having them? You know what I mean? In regards to Cam Smith, for example, he was a 2nd rounder. Usually your 1st and 2nd round picks are starters. You know, that's usually what happens. And this guy can't even he can't even fart on the field, bro. That's how.
Can you do me a favor real quick on that note before you shut it down? I'm really curious. Has there been any action from a guy named Tyler Christensen?
From where, in the chat?
No, I mean in the NFL, with the team he's playing on. I forget who drafted. I want to say Pittsburgh drafted him.
Tyler?
Or has he not done anything either? Tyler Christensen.
I don't
from
see.
UM.
I'm trying to find Maybe the Tyler is spelled differently. Let me change the
He might not have made it out the practice squad. I don't know, but I'm just wondering because that was the guy that was highest left on board when we drafted Cam Smith. He was the highest cornerback left on the board, and he only gives up an inch in height, but he's 10 pounds heavier than Smith, and he's from UN. That was who I wanted us to draft, but we ended up drafting Smith.
Yeah.
In that spot. So I was wondering how best on board is doing right now compared to Cam Smith, if he's doing anything at all.
Yeah, I don't have any info on him, to be honest.
I'll have to look. I'll have to do a deeper dive. I just was wondering if there was a quick reference.
Personally, I think the issue with Cam Smith is that Vic Fangio doesn't trust rookies that much when it comes to the defense. He likes people that are already a master of the game, if you want to call it that. They have high NFL or football IQ, I should say. Football IQ.
And if we're in this organizational mindset of using draft picks that way, then I guess we're never going to win. Like, as fans, we're never going to get the things we want like that, bro. Because
my point is, why have the draft picks and actually hold on to them? And if we're not going to actually use them to bring in starters, we're just bringing them in to have bench warmers right now. That's why it gives the premise, okay, we have the draft capital, let's go do something. You know what I mean? Go bring starters in that are actually going to play. And we do need help on defense. I don't care what people tell me. We definitely do need a middle linebacker. We definitely do need...
Meanwhile, guys like, which I give us credit for Achan, but meanwhile, guys like Pacheco are already on to their second Super Bowl run, bro.
Yeah. My point is, we saw how good Cam Smith looked at training camp. Why has he not seen at least one series or have him in there for a few plays? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You haven't used him at all. I think maybe he got used on one special team play is what I've actually seen him. Maybe. Maybe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yep.
It's really weird.
It is.
So, but anyway,
Daddy knows best, right?
I guess so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you for coming out. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. This is Top of the Tailgate. It is Thursday, 8:08 a.m. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow early in the morning. Till then, have a good day.